It's Monday, February 2nd. In the headlines, expungement of criminal records law amendment. JUTC's rural school buses goes cashless. In business news, work pushes forward for a micro stock exchange. Regionally, Win Air Airlines launches a service between Trinidad and Tobago and St. Martin. In sports, under-17 Reggae girls take on Honduras in a must-win CONCACAF qualifier. And Caribbean Premier League targets primary schools with new cricket program. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Thousands of Jamaicans who have criminal records will soon be able to conduct their business without declaring that information. The Senate has approved legislation aimed at widening access to the expungement of criminal records, giving rehabilitated offenders a second chance. The Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act was passed on Friday without amendments in the Senate. Piloting the legislation, Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, and acting leader of government business in the Upper House, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, says the law is intended to give deserving individuals a fresh start after paying their debt to society.
The second chance concept is, in theory, the main objective of this legislation. However, it has not been fully operationalized. Many applicants who have indeed paid their debt to society, who have benefited from reform, rehabilitation, and training, have still been denied the expungement of their criminal records. And I know many of us know individuals like that. These unsuccessful applicants have indicated that as a result, their standard of living has been negatively affected.
Currently, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Board is unable to consider cases where sentences exceed 5 years imprisonment. A restriction, the minister says, has contributed to a sharp rise in refused applications. Under the new law, the board's discretion will be expanded to include offenses carrying sentences of up to 10 years, with longer rehabilitation periods.
And as such, the rehabilitation period ought to increase from 10 to 12 years for persons who are above the age of 18 years. Likewise, for persons who are below the age of 18 years, the rehabilitation period ought to increase from 5 to 8 years.
The legislation also provides for an expansion of the board's membership to handle the expected increase in applications.
However, for the board to grant the expungement, the board must be satisfied that the applicant has been in fact rehabilitated and that there will be no prejudice to the interests of justice or national security by granting the expungement.
The minister adds that the law forms part of the government's broader national security strategy, emphasizing that incarceration is not viewed as the end of state intervention. The legislation will now move to the next stage in the parliamentary process before becoming a law. The cashless system for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, or JUTC's rural school buses, becomes effective today, February 2. Our reporter, Marlon Samuels, has more on how this is transforming student transportation across rural Jamaica.
The JUTC is revolutionizing student transportation with a new cashless system that prioritizes safety, convenience, and affordability for students across Jamaica.
Now, why are we going cashless? One, we want you to access our safety feature, which one of it is that when you board onto the bus and you tap your student transportation card, it alerts your parents that you boarded the bus, and when you tap off, it alerts your parents that you exited the bus.
In rural Jamaica, the JUTC's Rural Bus Transportation Card is a part of the national effort to modernize student transit. The cashless system is not just about convenience. It's a vital step in protecting our children and giving parents peace of mind.
The tap-in, tap-out system provides real-time notifications to parents every time their child gets on or off the bus. With GPS tracking, onboard cameras, and driver monitoring, every journey is safer. Using the card also means substantial savings.
You know, in rural Jamaica, you have, for example, some part in Portland is really far. So you take a taxi from your house to one area, and then from one area to the bus park, and then from the bus park or the taxi to your school.
Yes.
That can run you up to $1,200 to $1,500. Now imagine if you have more than one. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just $50 with the rural school bus.
Registering is simple, even for those who aren't tech savvy.
Our drivers across all 7 regions, they also have hard copy. So you could collect a hard copy from your driver, take it to your parents, let them fill it out, and then just take it back to the school.
Already, 8,000 students have signed up. The JUTC is encouraging more to do so as it ensures safe, reliable transportation for students. The process is simple.
Step 1, register for your student transportation card. You can do this by going on the JUTC website, which is www.jutc.gov.jm, or you could go on our Instagram page, which is JUTCLTD. Click the link in our bio, and it takes you straight to the registration platform.
The transportation cards can be topped up at all Bill Express locations.
The app is coming soon where you can also top up on the app. You can also get notifications with the tap on, tap off of your kid. But that is coming soon, and we'll be back to talk more about that. But top ups, I know I've been getting lots of questions about where can we top up. You can top up at any Bill Express.
With the new cashless system, the JUTC is setting a high standard for safe, reliable, and modern student transportation across Jamaica. It's a safer journey for our children and a smarter way to travel. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Today, as the world marks World Wetlands Day 2026, we turn our focus to a place where nature, culture, and community are deeply intertwined, the Black River Lower Morass. Observed under the theme Wetlands and Traditional Knowledge, Celebrating Cultural Heritage, today's commemoration highlights the lived wisdom of communities whose identities and livelihoods are rooted in this wetland landscape. From traditions passed through generations to hard-learned lessons in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, the Voices of Black River tells us the vital role wetlands play in protecting lives and strengthening communities in a changing climate.
The wetland is very good to me. I don't want no one at all to destroy it. You know, see, the tree, if I go up there and say I want someone cutting the tree, the red mangrove or the white mangrove, I tell them to leave it alone.
The Black River Lower Morass is more than a wetland. It is a place of life, tradition, and heritage where nature and culture intertwine. For the communities of Black River, the wetland is not just an ecosystem. It is a way of life, a source of food, and a living classroom of traditional knowledge.
Wetlands like those that are found in Black River are fundamental to our fisheries sector. In fact, there would be no fisheries sector without our wetlands. All our fishing beaches, such as Parity, Galleon, where our fishers go out, the reality is that the nurseries for those fish are our wetlands. And not just our fish, our middle quarters peppered shrimp that we love so much. Those nurseries are found in the Black River.
The Black River Morass is actually a Ramsar site, meaning it is a wetland of international importance. It is also the largest wetland in the English-speaking Caribbean, and it is a huge part of Black River's heritage and also the livelihoods of many fishermen and us who conduct eco-tours on the Black River.
So healthy wetlands literally contribute to a healthy country, a healthy society. They create livelihoods, but they also create buffers between us and nature. So in the recent Hurricane Melissa, we'd have seen over 2,000 hectares of mangrove forests between St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland badly degraded. Now, when one contemplates the storm surge that would have protected us from, you can imagine the level of damage would have been far worse if you didn't have healthy mangrove forests in those areas to protect you from what was a very bad storm surge.
The knowledge and practices passed through generations have sustained the Black River wetland and the people who depend on it.
You know, without the traditional knowledge of our wetlands, we would be worse off as a country. Our local people know where our mangroves were originally, know where they grow, know how flooding and water channels operate. And in fact, we have to use those traditional knowledge to keep our wetlands safe, to keep our wetlands strong. So it is fundamental that those who know are activated as a part of our wetlands protection system, that they are consistently utilized, called upon, that their knowledge is used in looking at things like development permits, in looking at things like developing our roadways.
A legendary figure whose soulful voice and timeless music continues to inspire generations is Jamaica's Dennis Emmanuel Brown, dubbed the Crown Prince of Reggae. Our reporter Marlon Samuels provides some insight into his influence in the world of music and beyond.
His songs have become anthems of hope, resilience, and love, messages that have touched hearts across cultures and continents. Dennis Emmanuel Brown, dubbed the Crown Prince of Reggae, was born on February 1, 1957 in Kingston, Jamaica. His journey to reggae stardom began at just 9 years of age at a school concert.
I started singing at the age of 9 first, but doing actual recordings was when I was 13.
Wow.
13 years of age.
In the 1960s, Edward Seaga was serving as Minister of Development and Welfare. He gave Dennis Brown a solid foothold in the music industry.
Well, I had this brother of mine, because before I used to be a part of a youth club in downtown Kingston, right? And they had this concert once, and I appeared. Then I was introduced to Mr. Seaga.
At the concert?
At the concert. And now, Mr. Seaga, he had something to do with like this youth club, you know. So they were having this concert when Miriam Makeba and Adam Wade was playing in Jamaica. They had invited me there to be like a special guest. I opened the show for them, and that was the first time I had played with Byron Lee and the Dragonese. Right. Now, after that, I had my brother, who was a comedian at the time, right? He was doing this gig one Saturday night, so he had invited me to come along. Well, I went along, and they had asked me to do a song or two for them. But subsequently, I ended up singing with the band as a band vocalist since that night. Now, after playing the rounds, like doing the North Coast and the hotel circuits, and various nightclubs all over Jamaica.
Now, how old you were at that time? You were a teenager?
Yeah, I was just a teenager, 12, 13, you know.
Studio One is weird.
Mentored by reggae legend Alton Ellis and produced by Coxsone Dodd at Studio One, Dennis Brown quickly established himself as a rising star. Known for his smooth, soulful voice and heartfelt lyrics.
Music you can feel. Yeah, so much music. Oh, why can't we be just like music?
His distinctive voice, described as velvety smooth, defined a prolific career that spanned decades.
Love and hate can never be friends. Well, no.
Over his career, Dennis Brown recorded over 75 albums, creating a musical legacy that continues to resonate worldwide. Hits like Money in My Pocket, No Man is an Island, and Here I Come became anthems of hope, resilience, and love, timeless messages that continue to inspire.
Here I come with love and not hatred. Show me goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life.
The Crown Prince passed away on July 1, 1999 at the age of just 42. His loss was deeply felt across Jamaica and the world. But even in death, his influence endures.
In recognition of his profound impact, Dennis Brown is the first reggae artist to be laid to rest in Jamaica's National Heroes Park, a testament to his status as a cultural icon and a national treasure. Dennis Brown's voice, artistry, and message still resonates with artists and fans alike. His life reminds us of the power of music to uplift, to inspire, and to carry on Jamaica's reggae legacy until the final note has been played. I am Marlon Samuels, reporting for the news on PBCJ.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Finance Minister Favourable Williams, speaking at the recently concluded Jamaica Stock Exchange 21st Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference, said she wants the Jamaica Stock Exchange to move quickly to draft the rules governing the micro stock exchange. Mrs. Williams added that capacity building will be a central part of the rollout, particularly for micro enterprises that do not yet meet traditional listing standards. She stressed that the goal is to strengthen the pipeline of investment-ready businesses over time, rather than rushing companies to market before they are properly prepared. Livingstone Morrison, CEO of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, recently concluded the first meeting of the Micro Market Working Committee last week to meet the requirements of the Finance Minister. The Micro Stock Exchange is being developed to provide financing for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises that are seeking up to $100 million in funding and that often struggle to access funding from traditional commercial banks. For the trading period of January 30, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Sagicor Select Funds Financial with 5,856,255 units, which is 13.6% of market sales activities. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 5,793,177 units, representing 13.46% of market sales activities. Wigton Energy Limited with 4,350,849 units, representing 10.11% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, wind energy, and financial plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for January 30, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. The US dollar trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling for $157.54 and buying at $155.81. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $7.26 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $118.67 and was bought for $111.41. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $9.96 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $220.20 and was bought for $210.24. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For the credit report tip of the day, for persons entering their after 50 lifestyle, the credit report is a very important tool in your transition. Your credit score is a snapshot of how you manage financial trust, built from your payment history, how much credit you use, how long you've used it, the types of credit you carry, and how often you apply for new accounts. Paying off debt is powerful, but eliminating balances without maintaining active, well-managed accounts can actually weaken that snapshot because credit systems reward responsible use, not total inactivity. After age 55, a credit report becomes less about buying things and more about preserving your choice. It can support your cash flow. It can help you protect assets. It can help you fund opportunities and navigate life transitions without unnecessary strain. In that sense, credit is not about debt. It's about leverage, flexibility, and control at every stage of life. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, a new air service from Trinidad and Tobago to St. Martin has been launched. Win Air Airlines made its inaugural flight on Sunday, which will enhance travel between the two countries. TTT News has the details.
A warm Trinidad and Tobago welcome greeted the first passengers on board Win Air Airlines as it made its inaugural flight from Princess Juliana Airport in St. Martin to the Piarco International Airport on Sunday. This signaled the start of flights on the new airline between the two countries. Addressing the welcoming ceremony, Chief Executive Officer of Win Air, Hans van der Veer, said there is a demand for more flights between the two countries.
But it's also special for the inhabitants of both countries. The captain that flew the aircraft here is not only a captain, it's also our director of operations, and he is from Trinidad, and he sometimes wants to go back home. And he sometimes struggles to go back home, although Caribbean Airlines has a number of flights a week to Trinidad. With us expanding our fleet, we thought, well, that might be a good occasion to try Trinidad. Because we feel there's a strong demand.
Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Eli Zakur, was one of the passengers on board the inaugural flight. He stressed the importance of the service.
Today's occasion is about connection. It is about strengthening links between our Caribbean islands and creating practical, reliable pathways for people, business, and opportunity to move more freely across our region.
Also present at the ceremony was Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism Satyakama Maharaj, who described the occasion as not just symbolic but strategic. Minister Maharaj said the decision to introduce this service to TNT is a vote of confidence in our economy, tourism potential and our role as a regional hub.
For decades, the ties between Trinidad and Tobago and St. Martin have been built through people, through travel for work, education, trade, and family. Those people-to-people connections have always been the backbone of Caribbean integration. And today's inaugural flight honors that history while opening a new chapter of cooperation. This service is also an economic enabler.
Minister Maharaj said improved air access supports smoother business travel, stronger commercial relationships, and new opportunities for exporters and service providers to expand into wider regional markets. Winair will now operate 2 flights per week between Trinidad and Tobago and St. Martin.
From the cradle to the crane, relief is on the table if the Barbados Labour Party is returned to office. As the countdown to the February 11 general election continues, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has unveiled a wide-ranging cost of living package, announced Saturday night at the BLP's manifesto launch in Golden Square. The proposals include direct cash support for pensioners, tax relief for working Barbadians, and long-term investment in the next generation. CBC News' Anesta Henry reports.
Before a sea of red-clad supporters, Prime Minister Mia Mottley presented a covenant with the people of Barbados, which features expanded cost of living relief measures. The package is targeted at those under the greatest pressure, expanding tax credits for low and middle income workers. It includes a new $100 monthly cost of living cash credit for pensioners, welfare recipients, and those with special needs. The proposals also raise income thresholds for current credit. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the total package is expected to cost the government about $142.2 million annually.
The largest part is the cost of living cash credit for the pensioners, all pensioners, $1,200 a year. So that when you get your pension or whatever, you will get this as well.
Beyond the immediate relief, the Prime Minister also announced plans for a Barbados Republic Child Wealth Fund, giving every child born after November 30th, 2021, a $5,000 share held in trust until adulthood.
That money will be managed by an independent trust, not the government, not the private sector, an independent trust.
Education and youth development also featured prominently in the manifesto. Plans include completing education reform already underway and launching a universal primary school breakfast program from September.
In sports, we highlight the latest football news. Jamaica's young reggae girls are set to face Honduras tonight in a crucial CONCACAF Women's Under-17 qualifiers match. With a direct spot in the next round at stake, the World Cup qualification in sight, Coach Marlon Hilton says he's encouraged by the team's steady improvement and growing consistency heading into the match. The Caribbean Premier League is taking its commitment to grassroots cricket development to a new level. CPL executives met with the Trinidad and Tobago's Sports Minister Philip Watts recently to discuss an ambitious primary school cricket program set to roll out in 2026. Here's more from Nasir Mohammed.
The initiative aims to introduce young boys and girls across Trinidad and Tobago to the sport while creating clear pathways to professional cricket. CPL Chief Executive Officer Pete Russell and Commercial Director Jamie Stewart held discussions with Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Philip Watts and Sport TT CEO Jason Williams at the ministry's head office. The meeting centered on a proposed primary school cricket program to be implemented through Sport TT, designed to build fundamental skills and nurture a lifelong love for the game. The partnership also includes plans for a dedicated primary schools cricket tournament, giving young players structured competition and opportunities to showcase their talent in a supportive environment. Executives reviewed the CPL's performance during the 2025 season, including fan engagement and economic impact in Trinidad and Tobago. Both parties explored ways to deepen their partnership through community outreach. The Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, CPL and Sport TT will continue working to transform these plans into tangible programs benefiting young people and the national sport landscape.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching.